Good morning. I bet you we don't get through this program without me going, ha-chew, ha-chew, because it is pollinated time in Georgia. Welcome to Georgia. If you're just joining us and you're watching us on ETC from Ball Ground to Turtle Town, welcome. And if you're watching us on YouTube from around the world, for you folks in foreign countries and you're going, what'd that woman say? We're in the country. We are in the country, and we are up here in the mountains of Fannin County, Georgia. Fannin County. We're in Gilmer County, but we got a little Fannin County going on because we go to Fannin County. We go over into Turtletown, Tennessee. And y'all need to pay attention to what we talk about, because we'll talk about places you could go over the Easter holiday. And I will just remind you that Easter is not about the bunny. It is about the tomb, the empty tomb. Mm-hmm. Do you know that that tomb is empty? Praise the Lord, that tomb is empty. So remember, Easter is that time every single year we remember. We remember. Absolutely. And on that day he rose. He arose. Now I have a guest who might know a little something about Sunday school and church and people in general, and he's a pretty good dude, although his daddy was one of those judges that he might have slammed the gavel on you and you might have said, what?
Yes.
Welcome Phillip Milam, whose daddy was Judge Bobby Milam, who I loved him. I love that man. And you know, until the end of his life, he tried to stay involved in stuff.
He did.
He loved the communities that we serve.
Yes, he did. He, even when his health was bad, his mind stayed sharp. He would read his Bible every day. He read a book a week, and he'd try to get out when he could.
Yeah.
And he loved our mountains, and he loved the people he served.
What would he say about you throwing your hat in the ring? Because I would say you've just lost your mind, because you're going to jump in there with a bunch of crazy people. Getting into politics is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not. It's not, and it's been something that I had to really pray a lot about. I was recruited and encouraged, but I felt like my growth and how I was raised is that you give back. I have a family that has had a lot of service back to the community. I myself have done that, and you know, our life is to be with purpose for something that's bigger than ourselves.
That's it.
And so that's part of why I ran. And that, as far as my dad goes, I think he would be proud that I'm stepping up. As you just mentioned with my dad, sometimes he made decisions that weren't necessarily popular, or decisions that he didn't want to have to make, but he always tried to do what he felt was right, and that's important. I think that's where we need to continue that mindset. We have to do what's right, and we have to make decisions that's best for where we are and who we are.
When you decided to run, was your wife, okay, that's great, or did she say, do you want to think about this a little bit?
Well, actually, we were approached by this over many months, 3 times. And
you're kind of like, 1, 2, 3, okay, maybe we'll do it.
I turned it down twice. I will say that I was in a 10-month program as far as retiring, and I really called it transitioning. I didn't see myself retiring because, first of all, I never have seen the word retire in the scriptures. And we're to still live our lives with purpose and giving back. And so that was my intent. I just didn't know exactly how it was going to work. I'm a mediator as well as being in the legal field, but I was kind of shutting that legal aspect of it, except for mediation and doing some coaching that I do. So I didn't know exactly how it would work. Excuse me. But, you know, it began to unfold. And after that 3rd time, I said, well, maybe the practice is almost completely shut down, and said maybe God's telling me something. So it was with a lot of guidance and seeking strong advice for people I respect, and then at some point you just say, I'm going to step out in faith.
Okay, stepping out in faith meant that, have you gone door to door? Have you made contacts with people who know you? Have you met people who've never heard about you and don't know anything about you before?
Oh yes, I've done a lot of that. This is a district, the Senate 51st District covers 7 counties.
Wow. Tell me the counties.
It's really big. It starts with Pickens and Gilmer, Fannin, Union, running up the 515 corridor, and part of Wyatt, and then it also covers Lumpkin and Dawson. So it's a lot of territory to cover.
Well, you need to get me some signs because I know somebody in every one of those counties.
Well, I've got them in the truck.
Well, I need some signs.
My truck
but you don't go into Cherokee County.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I still know, and it's funny, I went to get my hair done, and I pull up, and Leah had one of your signs in her yard, and she's done my hair forever and ever and ever. And it was crazy because I laugh because we always, if you're in the public job like she is, I'm sure she has both parties that she does their hair, but I was happy when I pulled up in her yard and she had one of your signs in her yard.
Yeah, it's very appreciative.
Yeah. Well, we need to get some signs out. Now, so Dawson and Lumpkin, those are a little bit different. Lumpkin is a tourist town. Dawson County is a growing outburst of Atlanta.
It is.
Basically, Dawson County is like going to Atlanta now.
It is. It's very much so. You go outside of the town of Dawsonville and you get to where the mall is, or you go to the backside of 9 and there's roundabouts, and it just, the construction over there is just phenomenal off 400.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Just changing.
Growth is big, yeah.
I grew up, I didn't grow up, but I was a former prosecutor at one point over there back in the 90s, and it was still a very country town, mountain town. Yeah. And but it's definitely changed.
Yeah. So. Now, okay, you've been a prosecutor. Now you're going to be what can we name you? You're going to be a helpinator. We'll make up a new word. You're going to be helping
hopefully
people.
A servant leader. That's the way I look at it.
There you go.
That's the way I look at it.
Now you're friends with somebody we know and love, Kevin Roper.
Yes.
Okay, Kevin Roper is like you. Okay, he could have retired, he could have gone to the house, he could have done something. Instead, he goes to law school.
Yes.
And gets his law degree after he's already been working in the funeral home business since he was 12. I mean, the kid went to work when he was a little boy. How do y'all, is there something about you that just says, I do want to continue to help? And is that what happens to people?
Well, I was at one point, I've done different things. It took me a while to get into a groove. One of my first jobs out of school at college was working for Milliken Textiles over in Gainesville. It was a mill company.
We hauled for them.
And so it was very interesting because most of the time I was filling for the workers and the hard work they had to go through and how tough it was. They had this rotating shift, and so they
breathing in all the chemicals.
They were hot, and it was a hard way to make a living.
Well. Yeah.
And so I left there, and then I ended up going into a division of law enforcement. I was post-certified as a probation officer for several years, and did that until I started to go to law school, and then from there I went to serve as a ADA in the Hall in Dawson County for about 4 years. So that's how I got started. So
you know that county, yeah.
I do, and I didn't go to law school till I was 30. But for me, and I've told young people, it's never too late, and you keep changing and growing as you need to, and where you're led.
Yeah. And now you look around, you go, okay, I've got it done. I've done what I enjoyed. Now I want to give back. A 2-year term, 2 years, that's not long. That's not long.
No, it's not. It's
but
not.
My idea is it's going to take you about 6 terms, which is 12 years, to really accomplish anything. Could you get discouraged if you go in there and see that you can't make change quickly?
Well, the reason I'm doing this is because I feel led to go in and make a difference. I think our government needs strong leaders who have the values of our Constitution. I am what I call a constitutional conservative Christian. Those are the pillars with which I operate. I try to live my life that way, and so that's what I'm going in there for. And I will do my best to make a difference. My first goal is to make sure that I listen to the people here in these communities and learn from them, because I represent them. It's not my seat, it's their seat. Yeah. And I'm fortunate in where I am in my life in that I don't no longer am blessed to not have to work, so I can spend time doing this, getting to know the people. And that's, for me, one of the benefits right now is getting to meet so many people.
Yeah.
I enjoy just getting to talk to people. You asked me how I'm going about door to door. One of the things I do is go to a lot of restaurants and have breakfast.
I was going to tell you, I know some good restaurants in all these areas. Yeah.
Go to restaurants and have lunch with people, and you know, sometimes you just somebody might say, okay, that's all right, and then others will have me sit down and we'll just sit there and talk.
Right.
And I've actually had people who were not in the district, but we still just sat down and just talked about life and where they're from and what they do. And I think that's one of the things that's so important is the relations.
You're in the cluster of what we're still holding as red.
Yes.
We are still conservative. We are still Christians. We still believe in hard work and honest day's work for an honest day's pay. We still have great beliefs, and they came from the Bible.
Absolutely.
Have you had any pushback from people who said, oh, well, no, I want this and this, and you're against that? Have you had any of that? Have you run into any of that?
Fortunately, I have not right now. But going into this, I knew that could happen. For me, this stepping out in this way I've stepped out as a constitutional conservative Christian, it's placed me in a position to have to be bolder about my faith and to be strong in that. I'm not here to preach, but I'm here to uphold those standards.
Right.
And it's, you know, I have people that I ask to keep me accountable, because it's a battle.
I think I remember that the United States was founded on the principles of the Bible.
It was.
Do you remember that?
I know.
Yeah, we were young, but we remember that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, the people are misconstrued that the separation of church and state was not in the Constitution as a letter, but it was to keep the state out of the church, not the Christian principles out of the government. And so those are things that mean a difference to me.
And this is the year that the president, as we celebrate 250 years, he said it's time we brought God back to work. It's time we brought God back to our country. He is having prayer in the Oval Office daily.
Yes.
And he's doing things that other presidents weren't. I don't know what the word is. To me, I think that he knows that there is an ever after.
Yes.
And you prepare for it.
That's right.
That's the way to prepare for it.
That's it. For me, the work we do here is simply what we're doing now for our
You're
next
laying down
life.
your foundation.
That's it.
Yeah.
And as you asked why I got into this, and I told a little bit about that, but also when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, that was affected me greatly.
Oh my gosh.
And what I admired so much with him was that he was a bold man with a mission, standing up for what was right.
Oh, yeah.
And I think his passing opened a door of people saying, we have to stand up and we have to be strong leaders. And I've never been one to like to sit on the sidelines and be a fan or a critic. I want to be on the field.
There you go.
Whatever it may be. And so I said, Lord, if you call me to something, I'm not going to run. Well, I didn't know me running for a race, literally in the Senate, but it is sometimes God works in mysterious ways, and so
what can our viewers do to help you? What can our viewers do? What do you want them to share as far as delivery of, hey, you need to vote for this guy. I heard him talk and I believe what he says. Tell people how they can share your message simply to other people who don't know. Because you won't reach everybody.
No, I'm not. And we need to, I think if you understand where I'm coming from, I didn't have to run. I'm in a place where I could give to the community. I was actually on the chamber board and was giving to the community there. I'm involved in my church. And I've always done some other things. I have a men's group that I've formed for local area, and I'm also a Christian business coach for younger men. I've always enjoyed that and reaching back. But my values are, as I say, constitutional Christian conservative. And I think my position is I want to be a strong leader. I have the time and effort to go and meet people, hear what their concerns are, and to take those concerns of our community back to Atlanta and defend them. I believe I'm a Christian. I believe in America. I support Trump. Is he the sweetest guy, or does he make all the perfect? He doesn't, but who does? Who does? But I believe in his values and what he's trying to do for us.
Oh yeah.
And then I support Georgia. But my first concern and commitment is to this district.
Yeah.
And for the people here. And it is red. And we need to keep it as red as possible.
Yeah, we need to keep it red. Something that I hear from people every single day, because I sell homes, and I sell all price points. I mean, I can sell a $3 million or a $100,000 home. I can sell a piece of ground where you're going to have to put a camper because you can't do any better than that. I can sell all of that. But one of the things I always hear from people is, I'll have to give up my home because I can't afford the taxes. How important is that for you to get in there and lay the groundwork to let's back up and let's cut taxes, or let's do away with property taxes? That is the one thing that affects every single homeowner, and we see parents having to give up their home because they can't pay their taxes. That's crazy.
That is a real issue, and I think across the board, as a general, Republicans are supportive of lowering taxes, at least in putting a cap on property taxes until there's solutions there. But we definitely want to eliminate property tax is the ultimate goal. But certainly a cap is our first goal, is to put a cap on it. Don't let it get but a certain amount of increase in the value. And you're right, people who are on fixed incomes or retired, and their house increases. It does, and then they lose what they've worked so hard for. And affordable housing in general, there's layers of that, and we need to see that our young people can afford a home too.
First time ownership is often impossible. Yeah.
I think that when young people are able to purchase a home, they become vested. They have something. They have a stake. And then as they have that stake, they begin to become invested in their community as well. And they feel like they belong and they have something to fight for.
One of the things that we have to praise Brian Kemp for, he has managed to always have money that he sends back to us. My idea is, if we're collecting too much money in Georgia, why don't we use that to lower the property taxes instead of sending it back to everybody, because not everybody pays taxes, not everybody. So I have a real problem when we have an abundance of money because of his great work. He's done a good job, and he has managed a budget well. But when we have overage that's sitting there drawing interest, I guess, do you draw interest on money that's sitting there? I don't know. I don't know. But why not take that and let's truly, the two things that I think affect people the most, jobs and property taxes. And David Ralston was huge on working on that. And so if you could follow in the footsteps that he lay, because he cared so much about these communities, you will be serving the same places he served.
He did.
And he did a great job because he loved these mountains and he loved the people.
He did. Yeah. David was a great friend. He used to manage my dad's campaigns. In fact, David, when my dad became a judge, he had David come to Blue Ridge to take over his law practice. And so David always had a commitment, though, to this community, and I want to do the same thing. The property taxes is a big issue. We want to take care of that. There is a surplus, and it's good to have a surplus, but how much of that surplus can be passed back on? At what level is it too much? And of course, we're always looking at the spending. We need to spend less. We don't need big government. And there's other options.
Waste. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I got you something here. Let me see if I can find it. I brought it because when you get back down there, when we elect you, I want you to go in there and I want you to clean house.
All right.
And I've been cleaning house here a little bit, and we've been trying to budget. And ETC budgets. We budget wisely because we want to continue serving the community.
Yes.
if people aren't doing their jobs, then they should be replaced.
That's it.
If you're not doing what you said you're going to do, you should be replaced. And so if you go in there and you do clean house, and we do get, now I want to ask you a question that nobody likes to hear, but I don't believe there's any such thing as a nonpartisan election. I know a lot of small towns have nonpartisan, and they say, oh, it's nonpartisan, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. No, you just vote for the person. Wrong. Wrong. You are a conservative Christian. If you were sitting here and you weren't, and you were the other kind, I wouldn't vote for you.
Correct.
I wouldn't give you the time of day.
Yes.
Because I believe that my granny said it, birds of a feather flock together,
That's
and
true.
you are known by the company you keep.
That's it. That's
So
so true.
you're keeping company with good conservative Christian people. How do you get down there and convince the people that are already there to work with you? How do you do that?
Well, you know, I'm a mediator, as I mentioned that.
I was thinking, because you're a
Yes.
prosecutor, you may be just what we
Yes,
need. 'Cause you can
and
get in
my,
there
my,
and-
my
yeah.
legal background, one, helps me to be able to argue and could present bills that are strong. The other thing is to look at bills and proposals. Where are they weak? What is the language in there that's just going to open a door to be challenged all the time? But as you know, even in a successful marriage or business, there's always places that you have to compromise. And you may not get your way all the time, but does it move you forward? And I think that's the thing we have to look at. Are we moving forward? And for me, again, my filter is a 4-point filter. Is it constitutional? Does it hold to the spirit and the language of the Constitution? If it doesn't, then I'm not going to do it. Also, what's the morality? How does it fit biblically? Because again, I'm a Christian and I stand for, I answer to God first. Then I answer to my community and my fellow citizens. And so I review it through there. And if it's immoral and it's not supporting the principles of the Bible, then I'm not going to vote for it. That's my stand. And of course, the spending, the big government, we have to continue to minimize that and watch that. And then the other one is freedom. Is it taking away freedom? Is it limiting it? Or is it increasing our freedom? And those are the filters with which I will look at all the laws. And then I'll make those decisions based on those principles, and I'll hold fast to them. I may not be popular, but I think that will represent the values of this community.
If you're respected and not popular, that's okay. If somebody respects you, to me, that's much better than being the most popular guy there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because you can. I've seen people who wore a Stacey Abrams T-shirt and their little pride mask, and they're out running around and they're with the cool kids, they think, and then when it comes down to it, people are laughing at you and making fun of you, and certainly not respecting you. To me, respect is first of all, it's got to be earned, and second,
Yes, it does.
second of all, it is that thing that you really look at the core of the person. Can I respect them?
Yes.
Can I respect them? Yeah.
Well, for me, you know, I
I
grew
don't
up.
think you're going to wear a Stacey Abrams T-shirt.
No, I don't think so. No, I'm a Republican because they stand for what we believe in, and that's the Constitution, conservative ways.
We're having a mic problem, so we're going to do something right now, real quickly. We're going to take a break, and we're going to honor a gentleman that I love very, very much. He went to be with Jesus. His name is Floyd Scott. Y'all know him, you love his family, and we're going to honor him right now while I change mics. We'll be right back.
All right.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I've walked through a whispering forest. Not a man-made sound could I hear. A timid fawn was playing without a sign of fear. I walked alone up the mountain flight so gracefully. I knew that I was walking where mortals should not trod, and there on the mountain I stopped and thought of God. I've walked through a busy city that was made by men and steel. A young one cries, an old one dies, where love and hate are real. I knew that I was walking where mortals should not trod, and there on the lonely mountain I stopped and thought of God. There's a happy childhood home in my memory I can see, standing out upon the hill, neath the shadow of the trees. If I only had my way, it would give my heart a thrill, just to simply wander back to the cabin on the hill. I want to wander back to the cabin on the hill, neath the shadow of the tree. I would like to linger still, just to be with those I love. Joy my heart would overfill, and I want to wander back to the cabin on the hill. But the saddest of it all, I can never more return to my happy childhood home. Matters not how much I yearn, but I got a better home where there'll never come a ill. It's a mansion in the sky, and it stands upon the hill. I want to wander back to the cabin on the hill, neath the shadow of the tree. I would like to linger still, just to be with those I love. Joy my heart would overfill, and I want to wander back to the cabin on the hill. For my last song, I'd like to do one of my favorite songs and favorite recitations. It's entitled Supper Time. Many years ago, in days of childhood, I used to play till evening shadows come, then winding down an old familiar pathway, I heard my mother that set-off sun. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. Some of the fondest memories of my childhood were woven around the table at supper time. When I used to hear my mother call from the back steps of the old home place, "Come on home now, son, it's supper time." Gee, I'd love to hear those words once more. But you know, for me, time has woven a realization of truth. And that's when the call shall come from the portals of glory, when we shall all be gathered around the table with the Lord himself at the greatest supper time of them all. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last.
We're back.
Love that song.
Love that song. Love the meaning of that song. We're going to take a break and we're going to go to our community calendar. When we come back, we're going to talk to Floyd Scott a little bit about something that he's been involved with for over 30 years.
Wow.
Over 30 years. That's longer than you and Melissa have been married.
It is.
And you know how much can happen in 30 years. So we'll be back in just a second. Okay, we've got some very special birthdays, and one of them I'm surprised because I thought these boys were a lot younger than they are. They're my age. Oh, that just
Yes,
tickles
they
me
are.
to death. Go ahead.
Well, happy birthday, first of all, to Daniel Loudermilk from Pawpaw and Precious, whoever that is.
Hey, Pawpaw and Precious.
You know, the Loudermilks are kin to the quieter milks. You'll get that later.
Yeah, well, the Loudermilks are good cooks, I'll tell you that. There
And
you
happy
go.
birthday today to Kim Queen. And Kim is smart. She didn't give her age. And neither did Lily Loudermilk. She didn't give her age. Happy
She's a
birthday to
little
Lily
girl.
from Pawpaw and Precious.
That's right.
And happy birthday to Maxine Van Zandt.
Maxie Van Sant is
Maxie
absolutely
Van Zandt.
gorgeous.
Yes, happy birthday today. She's 51 years
51,
young.
I can't believe it. She's just a kid.
And happy birthday to Ronnie and Donnie Holmes. 60 years old today, those two fellers are.
Reckon anybody knows what they're famous for?
I do.
I do. I've eaten one of what they're famous for.
Yeah.
You talk about some good cooks going on. You got some good cooks going on right there, and I
Good
can't
coconut
believe
cake.
they're 60 years old.
60 years old.
Well, we're going to welcome a man who is all about heart. Now, Floyd, you've been involved in the Heart Fund for how many years out of the 48?
I think this will be 45.
Wow.
It started in 1963, and I missed 3 Heart Fund shows during that time. So
When it started, did you have black hair?
I think it's a mix.
That's funny because when you look now, you know, Elvis had black hair once upon a time.
Yeah.
But we watched that Elvis special yesterday, and you know, he dyed his hair. Have you ever thought of dyeing your hair?
No.
No? See, his hair kind of looks like Elvis did.
Well, he lived longer than Elvis did.
He did. He
I
did.
thought about it, you know, says about one time my wife said, no, you
Let me
don't
tell you
want
what.
to do that.
No, let me tell you what a man with dyed hair. Lord, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. But a man with dyed hair means if he dyes his hair, you look, you think, Lord, you're an old man with dyed hair. Just let it go white like I did, or let it go gold
Just let
like
it go.
he did.
Yeah.
There you go. What does it mean to you to be involved in this so many years? I know that you were personal friends with the gentleman that this is done about.
Absolutely. Morgan was a dear friend of mine, and we played lots of music together and for all the years. And this Heart Fund is something that's for such a worthy cause, and everyone knows what the proceeds go to.
Right.
And it's just a joy to go up there and pick and sing a little bit and be on that program. And
now, will your children, any of them, be with you this year?
I don't think they will. As of right now, Sherry, I don't think so.
I know in the past we've watched some of the Old Heart Funds, and I think Brenda's been on there with you, and Barry's been on there with you, and Cassie and Courtney have been on with you before.
Yeah, Brenda and Missy and all, they got a shower, you know. You know, I said there's so many things all comes up at the same time.
Right, right. And this event's going to be when, Saturday night?
This Saturday night, the 19th, February 19th,
Okay.
and I believe it starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to be free this time. There'll be no admission charge.
Okay.
There will be a love offering taken up sometime during the program.
And I heard a really good rumor that there's going to be some really good barbecue from that Pink Pig.
Oh yes.
I heard there's going to be some good barbecue plates for sale. Now that's one of the ways they raise money, and then the cake auction is probably one of the biggest ways they raise money.
They raise a lot of money on the cake auction, and you know a lot of people just can't believe, you know, that there's some of those cakes, you know,
Right.
that brings as much as they do.
I think I heard tell one of them brought $800 one time.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
If you or your business are looking for local advertising opportunities, we have sponsorships available for new programming coming soon on ETC3. Contact us at 706-697-5591.
Y'all come by and see us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea, or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Okay, if I had a home in Gilmer County, could I vote for you?
Yes, you could.
I
and
don't
wish
have
you
a home in
did.
Gilmer County. Why didn't I buy one? I
You
should have
got
done
a lot
that.
of friends that are living
Okay, Dwight Sanford, you're voting for him. Auntie, you're voting for
All
him.
right.
Everybody who knows me and loves me, you're voting for him.
there. Very good. Thank you. Yes.
You're
please.
voting for him.
Please.
You know, when we look at the reason you're running is because you believe you can make a difference. I'm going to give you a list. Find out where the $2 billion that Joe Biden gave Stacey Abrams went. if you're like Elon, you'll dig and dig and dig and you'll finally find it. Somebody's got to know where that $2 billion went.
It is a big question, isn't it?
Why do we not make people accountable? Why do we just let them get by with things, get by with things, get by with things? Why do we not hold politicians accountable? And she wasn't even a winning politician. Joe Biden gave her $2 billion. And nobody has chased the money down. They have proven that she didn't do what she was supposed to. As a prosecutor, would you be going after her?
Of course. You know, you've got to find out ethics and integrity matters all the time.
All the time.
If you don't have that, then it's corruption.
Yeah.
And at some point you make stands, and you've got to have more and more people willing to do that. And you've got to make some noise sometimes.
And you don't have to be the most popular kid on the playground, but you have to be the one that people would trust and they would respect and they would go to you, even though you might have made them mad once upon a time. They trust you and respect you, and that's what it's about.
It is. It is. You know, I remember as kids, guys could get in fights, but then after that, they would have their difference. They'd be fine.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm willing to sit down and talk with anybody. And as I said, I'm going to different communities and sitting down with them and we can talk. And I think sometimes that's what happens, that people no longer talk.
Have you done any town halls in any of the areas that you're serving?
We've had some town halls. We're doing meet and greets at different places. Got one tonight. And
where is it going to be?
It's going to be in Suches.
Okay.
And then
beautiful area.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a very nice area. And we're doing some more in different areas. Had one here locally, and it's just getting to know the people. And again, I encourage people, hey, if you have a group of friends, in fact, someone I met with just a few weeks ago, they've got a group of ladies or friends that want to, they have a little gathering periodically, and they asked me to come, and I said, sure. Let them get to know me, and let me hear what their concerns are. If you don't know what their concerns are, you can't carry them back to Atlanta.
Right.
And the more information I have, the better off I am.
Sure.
I try to find people who know more about certain subjects than I do. Any politician who comes in and tells you that they have all the answers, they're just telling you what they think you want to hear.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a slogan that you can take back to the Capitol. Preserving the past as we embrace the future. That's my friend who I wanted to run for city council in Ball Ground. She came up with that several years ago. And living in Cherokee County in an area that was the Cherokee, it belonged to the Cherokee. We are preserving the past as we embrace the future. If you don't grow, and our former mayor said it best, you do die. You have to grow. You have to build the communities. Even though we want the mountains to stay the same, we have to bring jobs.
Yes.
We have to bring money some way, somehow, some form. We have to bring a job that pays enough that kids can stay at home and work.
Yes. I remember when I grew up, we had the city services company, Copper Hill, big employer. We had Levi's and even in North Carolina right across the line.
Right.
So we had local businesses. There was a few others that people could work and make a living, and the middle class was supported. And I remember when that city service closed down, a lot of guys who were just getting out of school, they were commuting down to Marietta. They were going to the General Motors in Doraville.
There's still people who commute from Copper Hill to Jasper to work at the Royston Corporation, even though it's now not the Royston Corporation, but it's a large employer in Pickens County, and that would be a great place for you to get to be known, because Pickens County, they employ over 200 people.
Yes.
And they have done that for years and years and years under different management, but they remain a steadfast, huge employer.
Well, it's important. We've got to have jobs here that will support our people and affordable housing so they can be invested in our communities. And you mentioned progress and change. It's coming.
Got to happen.
It's got to happen to sustain life, but the wave of progress, the people know about us and they want to live here. So it's a matter of how do you manage that? And of course, this falls on a lot of our local governments, and that's not something that I can get into. But certainly, doing my part from the state level to make sure that we have vision for the future, while preserving our past and our history in some way, so that we can make sure that the future looks bright and it's in a life that we can enjoy.
And that's the key, because I'm not going to be here much longer, but my grandchildren will be, my children will be.
Yes.
You know, we know that our time is whenever, but we're leaving something that somebody else has to protect. And if we don't teach them to protect it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is social media. In order for me to let people know about you, I have to do it on social media.
That's
so
true.
A week or so ago, I posted some of your information on my social media, and people looked and they read, and then they said, are you going to support him? And I said, yes, I am. Number one, I loved his daddy, so I'm going to support him. And yeah, sure, and you believe like I believe. But when we look at social media, it truly has created some troubled teens.
Yes,
it has created some troubled teens who can't even get out and have conversation with people. And last week, we were talking about old music. Last week, I played some music from the 60s here that somebody from Ball Ground brought me. And one of the songs was called Doing Fine. And it talks about, there was a line in there, as you walk down the street every day, speak to everyone you see and say, yeah, I'm doing fine, I'm doing fine. Pass along something positive every single day.
Yes.
We don't do that anymore.
No.
I will walk down the street in Ball Ground and we still speak to each other.
Right.
And we still, hey, how you doing? And the other night I was leaving the office late, and a lady stopped and said, can you tell me where I could get something to eat this time of night in Ball Ground? And I said, there's really nothing open this late. And I had to send her somewhere else. And she said, that was so nice of you to stop and spend the time helping me find somewhere to go eat. And I said, okay. And I thought that was weird that she thought it was nice. To me, it's normal. It's normal to have a conversation with people. So we need to shut down those phones so many hours a day, shut down the Facebook so many hours a day, take our kids into real situations.
Yes. Relationships still are the strongest thing we have. My wife was, I'm blessed with a wonderful wife. We have 4 adult children, and we're actually about to have our first grandchild. So we're very excited
that'll
about
be so
that.
much fun.
And you know, to see the future for them is very important. But the social media and TV, we do a lot to try to pull away from that. My children are actually better than I am. They know how much it's taken away from their time together and get so distracted. So they will intentionally shut down their phones for quite a while. And what that does, it forces you to engage with one another and have conversation. And the art of conversation is almost gone. I remember my grandparents talking about the days that they would sit on the porch, neighbors would come, and they would spend hours into the night just talking. And that still is the most important thing.
My grandmother lived in Techwood, the housing project in Atlanta in Techwood, and there was a little circle of old ladies sitting out there around the tree, and they all had on their apron and their little tissue in their apron. And I said, if we could gather those 8 or 10 women together today, they could solve the world's problems, because they would take the time to do it. And there was no foolishness about them, and there was no waste about them. And they would solve the problems. And that's what we're missing. That's what we're truly missing, because, and Lord, everybody says, when I'm selling a home to a new home buyer, and they say, well, what do we need to do? And I said, well, first of all, make sure that your credit's good, make sure that your work history is good. And I give them a little guideline to go by. And then the first thing I know is they come in and she's had 2 new tattoos and gotten her nose pierced and gotten all this. And I'm like, how much did that cost you? Well, I needed to treat myself. Okay, we're up against your loan. They're already looking at your borderline. So you're choosing something that isn't going to better your life, and you're not going to get your house. And I'm like, so it's very hard on first-time buyers to convince people. Sometimes you have to give up something to get what you really want, and you really want to be a homeowner. So you have to give up something sometimes.
That's very interesting you bring that up. I mentioned my men's group. I call it the Ellijay Coffee Club. We meet once a month. It's men from different parts of the business. It's Christian based, but it's not a Bible study. And one of the things we talked about recently was I called it divesting to invest. And sometimes, you know, we have to look at things that are not so good in our lives, and we have to divest ourselves from those. But sometimes we also have to divest in things that are, there's nothing wrong with them, they're okay. But you have to invest and divest of those things to invest in something that's greater. If you're called to something, or you've got a bigger purpose or a greater goal, sometimes you have to give certain things up. There's nothing wrong with them, but you've got to be able to do that. And certainly, going back to the social media, investing in each other is what's important.
Absolutely. And the things that when we look at, I remember what was that first thing that came out for kids, MySpace. And we didn't think that was too bad, you know, and the kids, oh, they're going to interact with each other. Well, then we realized it really was, because they were interacting, but then they were hiding things from their parents. They weren't letting you know that they were up all night on MySpace. And from early on, it became a problem, and we didn't slam the brakes on it until it basically got out of control. And recently a case was won, and I understand they're gonna try to reverse it, but I don't believe it'll be reversed, because it's about children who have committed suicide because they were bullied on Facebook. Somebody would say, oh, you weigh too much, your hair's too ugly, you're this, you're that. And kids take it seriously because they're not having personal relationships with people that then confirm to them, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're all of these great things. Don't listen to those people that you don't even know these people. And these people are judging you. And they're people you don't even know. You know, and the one thing about that media too, there are created people that don't even exist. It may be a lonely man sitting in a hotel room who pretends to be a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, there's so many things that are
There
wrong
are so many things happening, and so to protect our children, I think when you go to the Senate, and you will go, he will go. Y'all are going to vote for him, right?
That's
You're going to vote for him, right? When you go, think about the children and the elderly, because those to me are two things. We cannot give up on the children, and we cannot allow the elderly to not have what they've worked for all their life.
I agree with you 100%. I think our children have to be protected. And there's predators out there. The social media, the digital world is just a tool. And it's like so many things, it can be used for good, but it's also used for evil. And it's getting more difficult. You know, I saw even with my father in his old age being on the computer and someone convincing him to turn his computer over to him, posing as Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have to create a higher awareness for that. But, you know, our children, we have to make sure that we're teaching the right values and protecting them. And it's an ongoing battle.
And you know, when you mentioned that about your dad, I can tell you case after case after case where elderly people were scammed in Ball Ground, in Jasper, in Ellijay, scammed and taken large sums of money, or actually some of them gave up their homes. I mean, it's been crazy because people will go to any length to take what is not theirs, and the elderly people think that they're just helping them. You know, they're innocent and they're helping them. And I've gotten the phone call, I can't tell you how many times, about the grandma call. Hey, Grandma, I'm in jail. Well, number one, if you sound like you're from Bankhead Highway in Atlanta, you are not my grandchild.
That's right.
And I get it over and over and over. How many people fall for those scams? So there's got to be a way to protect those two parts of society, and the rest of us just throw us out there in the middle and let us make it on our own, right?
Well, I was in Union County at an event, and one of the deputies spoke, and they have a whole program of information that they provide on the various scams that are out there. So I think it's important that we get people educated. I was commended them for what they were doing, and I think more and more should be programs like that out there to get people educated, because it really is hard. You get phone calls, and they're using things with AI now to mimic certain situations, and people, they they don't know what's real and what's not. They open emails, and these emails that are just set up, they sound real, and you have to be very careful. It's a constant battle.
It is a constant battle, and again, a computer is often it takes the place of a friendly phone call for elderly people. I know a lot of elderly people who play solitaire on the computer, and they do things on the computer to occupy their time. So maybe we, as adults, children, we should take care of our parents, and we should make sure that they get that level of attention they need, and not sit them in front of a computer screen.
That's true. That's true, and I think it's again, I mentioned relationships and being relational, having those opportunities to get together with other people. A lot of times families drift apart, and but having good networks of friends, that's important to us and how we live our lives. My wife and I, we play a lot of card games and things of that nature just to stay off the TV and social media. And during that time, we're just relaxing, talking about just stuff.
Or if you're
matter.
watching TV, you can watch the Sherry Show, or you can watch Andy Griffith, because me and Aunt Bee kind of think alike. I make pickles, and she does too. So.
Yeah, that's good. There we go.
Phillip, thank you so much for being here
Thank
today.
you. It was
And
a
I'm
pleasure.
serious, y'all. Pay attention. I know most of y'all trust me. Most of y'all call me and ask for advice. Please consider voting for Phillip Milam, State Senate. He will be supporting us, Gilmer, Pickens, Fannin, Dawson, Union, and Lumpkin, right?
Yes, and part of Wyatt.
And part of Wyatt County, where my mama lived in Claremont. That's the sweetest little community. That is the sweetest little community.
Some friends that live there. That's exactly right.
Yeah, that is the greatest community.
I appreciate your support, and just remember, as your senator, I'll be your neighbor. I'll be available.
That's right, that's right. And you can say 1-800-SHERRY, what's his number? And I'll give you his phone number. You know, that's something that Rick Jaspers, I love that he always posts his phone number, and you call him and he will either answer or he'll call you back.
That's it.
And that's the whole thing. If you're working for us, we want to be able to reach you. And we don't want you to say, oh, leave a message with my secretary. No, and that's what I loved about David Ralston. He was the real deal, and he was that guy who would say, hey, what you need, what you need. That's what it's about. So you're going to be representing us.
I enjoy meeting people. I'll come together and meet a crowd, a few people. Like I said, I'm at the restaurants and sit down, and people invite me to sit down, and we just sit down maybe 10, 15 minutes. So I enjoy that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Thank you.
Don't forget, if you are not registered to vote, go register. And I register red. I register red.
There you go.
I vote red.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. I wore blue today, and I laughed when I was getting dressed. I thought, well, stupid, you picked a bad day to wear blue. But then you've got a blue jacket,
I got blue too. It's a good color.
So there it is. There it is. We're going to leave you now where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet. Don't forget, we will be back on the air at 5 o'clock today, re-airing at 11 p.m., and then going straight to YouTube. Share us with your friends and your neighbors. Subscribe to YouTube. Doesn't cost you a dime. Just hit the buttons, answer subscribe, and you're done. You're done. We'll see you again soon, only on ETC Live.
Thank you, Sherry.